Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me is Vinny Motiwala. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. In a short while from now, you will get a chance to connect live with us on the WhatsApp number that will be flashing on the top of your screen. But before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So, Vinny, a complete reversal is what we are seeing into the markets. But nevertheless, they are trying to stabilize and a mild recovery from the day's lowest point.
Very mild recovery, Shrishti. Firstly, a good morning to you as well. And we started seeing this trend actually coming in yesterday when you saw the Nifty. It managed to touch the 21,800 all-time new highs above those levels as well. But then after that, the second half of today, nothing exciting happened. Today also the Nifty tried to open, slight bit in the green, then fell off, started trading in the red, touched the day's lowest point, breached the 21,600 level at one point of time as well. And right now, a mild bit of a recovery. It's what it's trying to make. But yes, nothing sort of a good recovery that we are seeing there. But let's also look at what the broader markets are doing today as well. And broader markets, when you're seeing it, that also nothing exciting happening on the broader market front as well. And Nifty mid-cap as well as a small cap, both are down almost 7/10 and 8/10% in trade as well. So yes, nothing exciting, whether it's the benchmark indices or the broader markets, nothing that we can see in terms of a green there. What's only holding on to green today is the Nifty Pharma. Let's pull up the Nifty Pharma. That's holding on to very strong gains. Obviously, we have a note that came in on Nomura, on Lupin by Nomura, where they've hiked the target price for the company as well. Nomura is hiking the target price, maintaining the buy rating, and Lupin is among the top F&O gainers. Other than all the pharma names, whether it's a Glenmark Pharma, DVs, Biocon, Sun Pharma, all these are surely buzzing away in trade. Other than that, Coal India is also something that is holding on to good gains in the F&O as well as the Nifty 50 space when you look at it. All cargo logistics, adjustment happening there, so that's a figure that we're seeing a sharp spike up there as well. And Lemon Tree is also on the back of a brokerage note is seeing a run up. Today, among the top sectoral loser is Nifty Auto. Nifty Auto, clearly, obviously, those auto numbers don't seem to be quite exciting, Shrishti. And whether you look at whether it's an Eicher Motor today, Ashok Leyland, M&M, all TVS Motors, all of them are seeing a very sharp fall. These are just some of the top names that I'm reading which are down more than 2%. So auto surely is going to be our focus area today as well, and understanding that as well. So firstly, how are those numbers like, right?
So Vinny, we highlighted this for our viewers as well yesterday when the numbers started trickling in, and even today a big disappointment coming in on majorly all the segments. The only shining star this particular month or the previous month was the commercial vehicle segment, wherein the sales were actually better than what we were expecting. But a big disappointment coming in from the tractor sales, two-wheeler sales even, as well as some of the auto passenger vehicle names also disappointed. So on the back of that, we are seeing all these auto majors trickling down. But talking about the stock-specific action, first of all, from the two-wheeler space, let's have a look at how TVS Motors' number were. Because on a month-on-month basis, we are seeing that 17% decline coming in on TVS Motors. The company clocked in a number close to 3 lakhs of units. That actually a decline on a sequential basis, but this is in line to what we were expecting. But nevertheless, we actually highlighted for our viewers that this could be an exception for TVS Motors this time around. A major disappointment coming in from Eicher Motors Royal Enfield as well, because our expectation was around 76,000 of units. The company clocked in 63,000 of units for the month gone by, and that's a decline of 21%. I don't believe that any of the brokerage firms were also working with this particular number. So major disappointment on this front. While for Bajaj Auto, there was a decline of 19% sequentially, but numbers were largely in line. So that's about the two-wheeler segment. Tractors, like both the numbers came in yesterday, so almost 40 to 45% decline on a month-on-month basis is what we have seen for M&M as well as the Scots, and even the commentary is not that optimistic. So we are seeing Escorts as well as M&M drifting lower even today as well. From the commercial vehicle segment, definitely a segment to watch out for, because for Eicher Motors VECV, there was a sales jump of 55%. Tata Motors commercial vehicle sales up 22%, while for Ashok Leyland, a bit of a profit booking, I believe, is what we are seeing, because the numbers were almost in line to our expectation, marginally better, and a 16% jump on that front. From the two, and lastly, from the passenger vehicle vehicle segment. We have seen a decline on a sequential basis as well. For Maruti, it was a decline of 16%. M&M Automotive disappointed with a 15% fall. And Tata Motors sales were largely in line, but there was too a decline of 5%. So broadly, we can say that it was not a great set for the December sales data, but the good part for passenger vehicle at least is that the companies could actually get off their inventories that were kept for the month of December, and going ahead that they are taking some price hikes as well. So that is something that we will be looking out for.
Absolutely, Shrishti. So just in a roundup, CVs was something that did well.
Yeah.
That came in as a surprise.
Yeah.
PVs wasn't that exciting, but price hikes is something that we should look forward to over there.
Yes.
But let's carry on this discussion with our experts for today, and let's bring on board Kunal Bothra as well as Rajesh Agarwal, who are joining in with us this morning on ET Now. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in with us this morning on ET Now. It's always a pleasure having you all on the show. And autos, that's what we want to discuss today. Kunal, I'm going to come to you. You know, when you look at it, obviously, 1 year, last 12-month performance, surely in terms of a stock move, has been very great, even when you look at the Nifty Auto or individual stocks name in the index as well. But today, all other stocks in the Nifty Auto Index are trading in the red as of now. Numbers have not been great, like Shrishti was pointing out. But in terms of charts, anything's looking attractive, or, you know, would you look and buy at any of these stocks right now, given that we're seeing a fall coming in?
Good morning. So I think Tata Motors remains to be the favorite from the auto pack. But when I look at the rest of the other pack, it's not that many of the stocks are actually finding some greater degree of momentum. I think except for the likes of Bajaj Auto, which has done exceptionally well, above 6,000 plus mark, 6,400, 500, the last I've seen for the stock. So I think other than that, there's not been too much of a very recent fervor for many of these auto stocks. In fact, Maruti, for example, has been one of the laggards in terms of price performance with respect to the other peers. M&M also, I think, somewhere closer to 1,700 is finding a lot of obstacle or resistances for itself. So maybe I think the space requires a lot more consolidation from here on. So wouldn't be surprised that for the next couple of months, we may actually see a broad-based consolidation coming out for the auto pack. But I think in that consolidation, if I have to pick and choose few stocks, I would probably look out for Eicher Motors. Maybe if the stock corrects back towards say 3,700, 3,750 odd mark, that could be a very good zone to go for a contra buy on Eicher Motors. So maybe another 100, 150 rupees from current levels. And in case if we see the likes of Tata Motors, for example, coming back towards say 730, 740 mark, that could be another stock to latch on to from a medium to long term play.
Okay, so Kunal will still be a buyer and would like to add some of these names that he just highlighted at lower levels. But Rajesh, coming to you, first of all, a very good morning to you. And what's your take on the auto sector? Because 2023 has been a great year for majorly all these auto big OEMs. But for 2024, will you still be a buyer, and any of your top recommendations at this point?
Good morning, Srishti. Good morning, Vinny. Good morning, Kunal. And first of all, a happy new year to you and your team and our viewers. And let's hope for 24,000 in 24. As far as auto is concerned, yes, they have performed very well in 2023. No doubt on that. We have seen Tata Motors giving triple-digit returns in the last year. That was the only Nifty stock which moved up by more than 100%. So I believe that this auto performance is going to be extended the next year too. Although, as Kunal said, that there might be some amount of consolidation because of the kind of run-up they have witnessed in the recent past. There might be some amount of consolidation, but somebody looking for a 1 year time horizon, I think there would be ample opportunities to accumulate the likes of Maruti or a Bajaj Auto, which are market leaders in their own field. Government has extended PLI scheme for auto sector for another 1 year. Yes, the numbers which came today were well below our estimates or anybody's estimates, but we should not forget that it may be just because of December seasonality. And not to forget that in November, we had a lot of festivals and Diwali and all those things going on. So maybe the sales were higher in that month. Going forward, I think Maruti would be our first choice because it's one of India's largest PV car company, beneficiary of strong demand in PV segment. And not to forget that the demand is rising astronomically in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and in rural areas. They have a very good, strong portfolio of products moving into EV. GM has taken a very great move, not only in domestic market but also in international markets like Latin America, Middle East, and Africa. Valuation is trading at 20-21 times FY26 P. So I think it's on a very sweet spot, and by any chance it goes below to 9,800, 9,500, it would be a very good point to accumulate this stock for a long-term horizon. And in two-wheelers, we would like Bajaj Auto. Domestic sales are good, international sales are good. They have a good product profile. New launches are there. There has been a blip this month, but I think going forward, this stock can give good returns.
Okay, those are the picks also coming in from Rajesh on the auto sector as well. And, obviously we are keeping an eye out on those names. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, viewers. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back with your stock-related queries. And as we go into the break, do not forget, because ET Now Swadesh, in line with helping Indians rise with India, have partnered with Sundaram Mutual to launch Nivesh Day, a groundbreaking campaign to help viewers build their personal finance portfolios through regular and disciplined investing. Nivesh Day is being celebrated on the 5th of every month. Join ET Now Swadesh and Sundaram Mutual to learn how you can build your portfolio financial future with an SIP in mutual fund.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. And viewers, you know the drill. You can connect live with us on the WhatsApp number that is on your screen, as well as you can write to us on our social media pages, that is on Twitter as well as our Facebook handles of ET Now. But with this, let's move on and let's kickstart taking all your stock-related queries. And the first query that I have, Kunal, is coming for you. This one is on BPCL. Meti from Trichy wants to know, can she buy BPCL at current market price? And if you could guide her with any target price and stop loss as well. She's looking to make an investment for the next 6 months.
So I think wait out for maybe one more round of correction, because what has happened is in the last 3 odd months for BPCL, the stock has moved from 330 to 480. In the last 1 month, from 480, the stock had gone down to 430 and 465, 470, which was the high, which means 430 and 470 seems to be the range for BPCL. It's currently at exactly the midpoint of this range at 450 mark, which means you have to wait out for at least 430 for a better level, better risk reward to enter the stock. So I would suggest to wait out for another 20 points on the downside as a correction, and closer to 430 I think would be a good risk reward to buy. You can keep a near-term target of at least 480 to 500 with a stop loss which could be kept at 400 mark.
That's the word on BPCL. Rajesh, coming to you, we have Pradeep from Kolkata, who is a long-term investor. They're holding 2 stocks. One is Data Patterns at a price of 744. The other one is AGI Greenpack at 577. They want your advice on, is it advisable to still hold this for a longer period of time, or maybe book out of profits and shift something like a BEL or an IDFC First Bank?
See, I think one should book out from Data Patterns because it has run up quite a lot in the recent past, and the valuation seems on a stretch, a little overstretched. So, although the company is very good, the fundamentals are strong, order book is good, but still the valuations are on the higher side. We're prudent to book some profit at this point of time, and maybe switching to IDFC First Bank would be a better idea. As far as AGI Greenpack is concerned, I think one should hold on to this stock. The numbers have been good. The expansions are doing very well. One can continue to hold.
Okay, Kunal, the next query that I have is coming on 2 counters, and this query is from Ellen Iyer. Firstly, he's holding Divi's Lab and he's already at a 5% profit in this one. So should he go ahead and sell and book out in this particular name? And he also has Canara Bank, where he's having 2% profit. Given the market volatility, he wants to know your take. Good to move out of this one and rather make an entry at declines? So
it could be a good strategy to do that, because for example, for Canara Bank, I would actually expect, given the way the markets are, that the stock may get into a very marginal correction. I'm not expecting a major correction in the stock, at least as of now. So maybe 420, 425 could be a better level in case if you're looking to buy the stock. But even to exit, I would believe that not at 442 where the stock is trading, maybe closer to 448 could be a good exit point or a book profit point for Canara Bank if you're looking to do that small adjustment to your trades. So I think that could be a good option where you can look to trade on Canara Bank.
Kunal, one more query your way, and this one is from Neha from Bangalore. They have a couple of names that are coming in there. Okay, so one was okay. Okay, yeah. So one is in terms of JK Cement, Samvardhana Motherson, and Amara Raja Batteries. They are making a profit of 25% on all this. So would you advise them to hold this for the next 1 to 3 months, or maybe they should look to book out of any of these names?
See, I think it makes a lot of sense to book at least 50% profits into the three names which you mentioned. If you're sitting with a 25% plus profits into these stocks, because after such a kind of a steep rally into the markets, you're bound to see some bit of choppiness, and I would probably make it makes sense to start booking out partial profits into these stocks, trailing or stop losses if you're a short-term trader, and then in case if these stocks correct, say by a margin of 5% to 10% broadly, then you can probably redeploy the money which you've booked at higher levels. So I think that should be a good strategy for all three of the stocks which you mentioned.
All right, but another sector, another stock which is related to the auto space, Rajesh, is JTEKT India, and V Ravichandran is planning to invest rupees 3 lakhs in this auto ancillary name. What is your outlook for the next 3 years, and can he go ahead and invest at current market price?
See, there are better names available, although the auto and auto ancillary pack are going to do well as we discussed earlier. But I think there are better names in auto ancillary pack also, like Minda Industries, or you have LG Balakrishnan, FIM Industries. There are better names, I think. What I would suggest is do not put the entire amount in a single stock, rather than put 25% each into all four stocks.
Okay, Kunal, we have this next query, and this one is from Sudha, and they want to know on Voltas. They bought Voltas 20 shares at 970 just around last week. What is the view on Voltas for the short term? Should they continue to hold this, or should they exit out of it now?
See, now what matters over here is time frame, because if you're looking at this as a short-term play and maybe with a couple of weeks of time frame, then I don't sense any major upward trend which could restart for Voltas at least over the next couple of weeks, because of the way the market setup has suddenly changed towards. But if you have a time frame of 3 months, 6 months or more, then I think it's a very good time to try and hold on to the stock. And in case if it dips down to say 920, 940 mark, that could be another zone where you may look to average out further, because my sense is that the stock is going through a strong reversal pattern. It could just be a knee-jerk reaction which the markets are offering right now, which could take the stock a bit lower from current levels. But I think from a medium-term time horizon, that should be an advantage for traders who are looking to accumulate.
All right, the next query that I have, Rajesh, is on LIC. Sridhar has got these shares during the IPO. He's holding 1100 shares, and he wants to know your take, that is this a good time to average LIC, because the stock is on the move in the recent times and the stock is still below its issue price of the IPO as well. So what's your take on LIC?
See, we have been advising buy on LIC on your channel since it was around 650, 670 odd levels. It has run up quite a lot in the recent past, maybe some amount of correction, but due to market conditions is due. But otherwise, fundamentals are very strong with 66% market share, new products being launched, the AUM being higher than the entire mutual fund industry's AUM taken as on March 2023. I think it's one of the must-have stocks in the long-term portfolio. So if any fall to around 800 levels would be a better levels to add. And for the existing stocks, you can continue to hold.
Okay, let's move on to the next query, and let's talk about NIIT Limited, Kunal. This one is, the viewer is holding almost since the last 100 days, and they want to know in terms of the stock expectation, what should they have from this? What is the future outlook? If they are a short-term holder and they're holding it for around 114 rupees, 6 to 9 months is what the time period is.
See, I think, I remember, I think in the month of September odd, we had a similar query on the stock when the stock was at almost at 140 odd levels, and I mentioned that after 3 steep days of price uptrend, the stock is bound to get into a correction. Now, fortunately, the stock has gone through a time-wise correction and not a major price-wise correction, because earlier the stock had moved from 80 to 150 in a matter of 3 or 4 trading sessions. So I think in that regards, it's been more of a retracement for the stock. So I think at current levels of 114, if you are a medium-term investor with a slight high-risk appetite, I think you should continue to hold on to NIT Limited, or maybe even look to buy the stock at current levels, because right now the chart setup is more of a strong breakout and then a retracement. So buying or retracement in such a kind of a chart setup is generally considered to be positive.
Okay, all right. Once again, coming to you, Kunal, because this one is a short-term query coming from Rita from Kolkata, and she's holding Gabriel India, 300 shares at a price of 420 rupees. She's at a loss in this one, and she wants to know a good time to make a switch to any other name in the auto pack, be it like Varroc Engineering, Talbros Auto. She's looking for some returns in the next 3 to 6 months.
So I think Gabriel is still an okay chart, because I think the stock is still not broken below its 50-day moving average. If I'm not wrong, I was just looking at the last 4, 5 months, 6 months of charts. I think from the March low somewhere, the stock had not broken below its 50-day moving average, which means it's still a stable chart. I think you should continue to hold on to the stock, and if you look to exit or time and exit, then I think you may probably get an opportunity yet again for the stock to rally back towards 420, 425, which is your cost price. So I think exiting there could be a better proposition for the stock.
Okay, Rajesh, we have this next query which is coming from Murli from Bangalore. They want to know on two stocks. One is 5-star business, Fusion Micro. How are both these stocks fundamentally looking? Is it an attractive time to buy these stocks? Maybe a time period of holding is only 1 year, but they want to know the fundamental view on this.
Fundamentals of both are very strong. The recently listed companies, I think they are into very good business. The asset quality is also good. But in NBFC space, you have better choices like Geo Financial or a Poonawalla rather than going for Fusion Market or 5-star Finance.
Okay, moving on then, and the next query that I have is coming on Mufti. Okay, the viewer didn't share his name, so let me skip this one and move on to the next query. And this one is coming from Gaurav Gupta from Vadodara, and Rajesh. He is holding 200 shares of La Opala. He has purchased this in 2 installments, and his average price is now coming in at 420 rupees. Any hopes on recovery in this particular stock, and any outlook to share?
In the short term, no. I don't think in the very short term, on the next 3 to 6 months, anything meaningful is going to happen in this stock, because at this price also the fundamentals have already been discounted. Valuations are stretched. I believe the stock can move down to around 320 odd levels, but will be a fair value to it. So anybody looking to add at that point of time would be a good idea. But anything to add at this point of time, it would be a bad idea, I think. If you can hold on for a very long period of time, maybe 12 to 18 months, you can continue to hold. Else, I would say book some losses at this point of time. Maybe when it goes down to 320, buy again.
Okay, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break, viewers. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be back and we will be taking all your stock-related queries after the break as well. Welcome back, and you're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, a show where we will be solving all your stock-related queries with our experts. So let's keep it going then with those queries. And Kunal, this query is for you. It's from Balaji from Chennai. It's on Vakrangi. Now, they're holding 1,000 shares of Vakrangi at a price of 20.4. For the short to medium term, should they continue to hold, or maybe book out their losses and look at something else?
Exit the stock. I think it's a stock which has fallen down very sharply in the last 5 years from 2018 onwards, and I would probably believe that it's not worth holding. It makes a lot of sense to divert this capital and come back towards large cap names.
All right, moving on to the next one. And Rajesh, this query is from Bishaka from Kolkata, and he wants to take on 2 stocks. Firstly is Syngene, where he is holding the shares at a price of 572 rupees, and he also has Gravita India from a price of 619 rupees. What's the outlook in both of these? Should he continue to move or ride the rally in both of these stocks, or rather book profits and make a switch to any other name?
See, Syngene is a hold for a long term. Even one can add this stock because the number of research going on in Syngene is very good. Going forward, this company is going to do well. And if some corporate action or some foreign investor takes place in this, it's going to give a very good trigger to this. Gravita, one should book profit run up. It has run up quite a lot in the recent past. Overstretch on valuation, I would say. Fundamentals are very good, business model is very good, but still on a very higher side.
Kunal, this next query is from Mahesh from Delhi, and this one is on DLF. They're holding 125 shares of DLF at a price of 353. Should they continue to hold this or exit the stock? And if exit, then what stock should they look and buy?
So 353, which means you've almost doubled your money in DLF. So that's a great, stock to have. And I would believe that real estate as a story is a very strong story for the next couple of years. Now, after the last 3-4 quarters of phenomenal rally for the real estate pack, I would actually expect that many of these stocks may get into a marginal correction. So a 10% broad correction is what I would expect for many of the real estate names, and that could be possible for stock like DLF also in the next 3 odd months. So if you're okay with that, then I think you should continue to hold on. If not, then I think it's a good time to try and book out profits and buy these stocks whenever that 10% retracement gets over for these names.
Okay, Rajesh, another banking query that I have is coming in on IDFC First Bank, and Debashish is holding 1,000 shares at a price of 86 rupees, and he's highlighting that for the past 1 month, the stock is just consolidating. So should he continue to hold on or rather make a switch to names like DCB Bank, RBL and Federal Bank at this point?
See, unless you have requirement of funds, I think you are just trying to switch from one to another. Makes no sense because after the merger, this is going to be a very good performing bank. The numbers have been very good in the last 2-3 quarters. Asset quality has improved, and the merger, which was overdue from a very long period of time, is finally happening. So I think one should continue to hold IDFC First Bank. As far as other names have been said, I think RBL would be a better choice out of these three.
Kunal, Ravi Prasad is holding 500 shares of NMDC at a price of 200. So they're making a slight bit of a profit there currently. But what is the target that they should keep for NMDC?
So you can continue to hold on to the stock, and I think I've mentioned this earlier also. I think closer to 140-45 mark for NBC. That my year-end targets for the stock is closer to 275 to 280 levels at least. So if you have that kind of a time frame, and remember that NMDC is a high volatile stock or a high beta stock, so it's bound to get into those odd phases of correction. If you can try and take advantage of that correction and average out the quantity, I think that will be a better strategy for NMDC. As of now, hold is what I would suggest.
All right. The next query, Rajesh, that I have is coming from Sudeep, and he's looking to make a fresh investment in a couple of names. He has Swaraj Engines, Maharashtra Seamless, Heikel, as well as Sharda Cropchem in mind to make a fresh investment at this point in time, where he could continue holding this for the next 2 to 3 years. So any of the stock that you still like?
Swaraj Engines and Heikel, I would say out of the four, these two are better names. Heikel, after that family dispute, it has come out of that. The numbers have been good. It's into crop chem and all. And the prospects are very good. I think it can easily touch 450, 480 odd levels in the next 12 to 18 months. So one can go long onto that. Even Swaraj Engine, although the volumes are very low on this counter, but fundamentally it's a very strong company. One can buy this.
Okay, Kunal, MVS Rao, I beg your pardon, from Hyderabad is wanting to know your short-term view on HDFC Bank. They're holding it at a price of 1,100 rupees per share for a time period of 3 months. What should they be doing with this one? Should they continue to hold at a target price?
Continue to hold. I would expect the stock to make a fresh high for itself. So breaking past about the 1760 mark would be the first target for HDFC Bank. And on the upside, I would actually expect the stock to maybe come back towards 1800, 1825 mark. So if with a 6-month kind of a time horizon, those could be the potential targets which you can keep on radar for HDFC Bank.
Okay, Rajesh, the next query is from SK Saran, and he's a senior citizen holding 200 shares of Whirlpool from a price of 1500 rupees. He wants to know what's your outlook for a long-term investment in this particular stock?
See, capital goods as a sector has got a very bright future going ahead as income grows, the consumption is growing, people are going for more capital goods space. But I think Whirlpool is not a better choice to pay into. Maybe IB Agro has got better prospects, but still IB Industries, IB Industries has got better prospects, but then the volumes are very low. Whirlpool, I would say around 1400, try to exit the stock.
Rajesh, one more query, and this one is from the hotel sector. We have Bimal from Kolkata who wants to know on Lemon Tree. Now, Motilal Oswal today has said Lemon Tree is the top pick in the hospitality sector. Bimal has bought 600 shares at 110. What is your view for Lemon Tree for the long term of time period of 3 years?
We have a target of 150 in the stock in the next 12 months. One can continue to hold. They are adding more rooms to their already large inventory. And the hotel demand, as we all know, is going up like anything. Tourism has taken up in our country. So I think 150 would be a decent target for the next 1 year.
All right. Today I'm getting a lot of auto ancillary related stocks queries, and one more for you, Rajesh. This one is from Munjal Shova. Katir is holding 500 shares at a price of 145 rupees. He's a long-term investor. Good to add at current market price.
One can add because we are very, as we said, we are very bullish on auto in the space in the next 1 year or so, and with government extending the PLI scheme for auto and auto ancillary for the next 1 year, I think this space is going to give good returns. One can add this stock.
Kunal, we have Sri Krishna from Hyderabad who wants to know on Deepak Nitrite. They're holding shares at 2,450 rupees per share. Should they accumulate more at the current price, and short to medium term target, what should they be doing?
Hold is what I would recommend as of now for Deepak Nitrate. The stock has run up quite well in the last 5-6 weeks, 7-8 weeks. I think from 2000 to 2500 broadly for the stock. So maybe wait out for a marginal bit of correction in case if it comes back to say 2350, 2400 levels. So this 50-point band is very keen to average out further for Deepak Nitrate.
All right, that's the take coming in on Deepak Nitrite. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all your stock related queries then. And the next query that I have, Rajesh, is on MRPL. Sachin is holding 50 shares of MRPL from a price of 61 rupees. He wants to know, is this a good time to book out profits? Because what I can see is that he's almost doubled his money in MRPL. So what will be your take?
First of all, congratulations on doubling your money. You continue to hold the stock. We have a target of 150 odd levels into this. The product demand is very high and the company is doing very well. The last quarter numbers were exceptionally good. I think one can continue to hold.
Okay, let's move on to this next query, and this one is on National Fertilizers, Kunal. Raghu Raman from Chichiri wants to know, they have this share at 84 rupees. Should they hold a book out of profits?
I think should be book out profits because today's move indicates that the RSI seems to be a bit overbought for NFL, and I think the stock trading at 107, which was the high intraday basis, and it's cooled off from those levels, which means that possibly this 107, 108 mark could act as a resistance for the stock over the near term. The only concern is the overbought nature of RSI, which is why I would suggest to book profits.
All right. The next query that I have, Rajesh, is from Suresh, and he's been writing to us for a couple of days to have a take on KCP Sugars. He wants to buy this for a medium-term investment horizon. Can he go ahead and buy at current market price? Any take on this one?
It's a bad idea, I would say, in a single line because the company's fundamentals are not that good. One can have a look at better names in the sugar space like a Balrampur Chini or a Dhampur rather than going to a small cap space like KCP Sugar. Anything going wrong, market going into a big correction would be very bad for these kind of stocks. Avoid.
Kunal, next query is on HDFC Life. Sushil from Mumbai wants to know your view. They're holding 500 shares at an average price of 600 since 2021. What's the view now? Should they exit the stock? Is there any alternative bet you would suggest?
Well, not to exit the stock, we can consider holding the stock also at current levels. Now, this also probably could be seen with the context of your entire portfolio construct. Now, if HDFC Life is one of the few large cap names which you have in part of your portfolio, then it makes sense to hold on to the stock. Now, particularly the stock has been an underperformer. I agree with that, but doesn't mean that the stock charts have been looking very weak as such. It's just that the stock has been a slight underperformer with respect to the other peers. It's gone through its fair share of correction over the last 2 years. But I think right now the stock is showing some signs of recovery. Now, if this recovery could probably get into a big trend for the stock, then we may expect the stock to break past about the 720, 725 mark also, which is the previous major high. So I would recommend a hold as of now for HDFC Life.
Okay, that's a hold coming in on HDFC Live. But Rajesh, since we just had your take on the sugar counters, one more sugar query that is from Sudarshan, and he's considering to make a fresh investment for the next 12 to 18 months. And a couple of names he has in mind is Kothari Sugars, Indian Sucrose, as well as Ugar Sugar. Any of the stock pick from these names?
All three are avoid. As I said, go to better names. I forgot to say EAD Perry at that point of time. That's one of the best names, I would say. Not only sugar, you have a play on fertilizer too because of their holdings in Coromandel. Management is very good. They give good dividend. I think EAD Perry is a better name out of the three which you have just mentioned.
Kunal, we have Vijayan from Bangalore who wants your view on IEX. They're holding 400 shares, but they're making currently a loss of 8%. So should they continue to hold or maybe sell? They can hold for a period of 6 months. And if they should sell, then should they look at something like an IDFC? They're already holding IDFC at 120. So what's that also? Like, can they add more of that?
So as of now, I would suggest a hold on IEX, not to sell, because the last 1 week of price action indicates that maybe the stock has formed a higher bottom as well as trying to get into a breakout. The breakout for IEX is about that 164 mark. The stock is marginally above those levels or trading at those levels. But then if it holds on to this 164 mark, say on closing basis for on the weekly basis, then I believe that possibly the stock may get into another round of rally for itself. So as of now, hold. But in case if the stock rallies up and say comes back towards 175, 180 mark, that could be a point where you may consider booking profits.
All right. The next query, Kunal, is specifically for you from Sumedha from Mumbai, and she wants your view on NCC. Actually, she's writing to us for the first time, and she didn't share her buy price, whether or not she's holding this. But do you believe that given the run-up, this move is expected to continue?
It's expected to continue for NCC, but I think if you're looking to buy the stock or if you're already holding on to the stock, so depending on your purchase price, my sense is that the behavioral trade which NCC is showing right now is the retesting of the 100-day moving average for in the last 3 or 4 corrections, which means right now the stock is at 167, the 100-day moving average is at 158, 159 for NCC, which means that possibly the stock may correct back towards 158, 159 mark before it gets back into the second round of rally for itself. So if you're looking to average further, you can probably try and take advantage if the stock corrects towards its 100-day moving average.
Rajesh, we have Tanya from Ghaziabad who wants to know, is it a good time to buy Root Mobile at current levels for a long term?
Long term, yes, it's very good. The numbers have been good. It's going into mobile applications a lot. I think on a long term, 2 years down the line, it can touch 2,000 odd rupees. Any fall in the stock can be taken as an opportunity to accumulate.
Right. Kunal, the next query is on 2 PSU names. Neelam from Jaipur is having 20% profits in SAIL and 60% profits in GAIL. Can she continue holding this for the next 1 to 3 months? Her view is for short term.
Well, you can hold on to it, but I think it makes sense to book maybe partial profits in GAIL. I think if I'm not wrong, that's where you have a higher percentage profits. Now, SAIL has recently gotten into a breakout. Metal stocks have been looking quite charged up. Many of the metal stocks have headed towards a strong breakout. JSW Steel, Tata Steel, etc. have been looking quite strong. In fact, even SAIL has managed to do a strong breakout about that 100, 104 mark. So both of the charts, they look attractive, but it makes sense to be a little bit conservative. So I would probably be in that regards advise you to book partial profits in both of these stocks.
Rajesh, Thomas George from Kochi wants to know, USL, UBL, Radico Khaitan, Sula Vineyards, which is the best bet for the long term now?
See, USL and UBL, of course, market leaders being a best bet for long term. But I think Sula can give good returns, not just because of their breweries business, but because of their vacation business also, and the numbers have been good. Valuations are attractive. Maybe a target of 600 odd rupees in the next 12 to 18 months is quite possible. So you can go ahead with USL, UABL and Sula.
All right, but with this, viewers, let's kickstart taking your queries in the rapid fire session. And the first query is for you, Kunal. Manjunathan wants your view on Trident. He's holding 5,000 shares at a price of 37 rupees. What's the outlook in the short term?
I would suggest a hold.
Rajesh, we have RK who's a long-term investor. They want to know Inox Wind, Cochin Shipyard or GMR Infra. Can they look to buy any of these stocks for the long term?
Cochin Shipyard is a buy.
Okay, Rajesh, Setu wants to make a fresh investment in Infosys and Reliance for the long-term investment horizon. What will be your advice?
Both are a must-have in one's long-term portfolio. It's a buy. Both are a buy from a side.
Kunal, Padmaseva Rao from Bangalore wants to know Natco Pharma at current levels. Is it an attractive buy for 6 months?
Well, yes, you can go for buy at current levels.
Kunal, Dr. Uday Singh wants to know the 6 months outlook for IB Real Estate. He's holding around 1,300 shares at a price of 164 rupees.
Very high beta stock. I would suggest to buy or average about 96 mark for IB Real Estate.
Rajesh, we have Pushkar Saxena from Bihar who has Bayer Corp Science 17 shares at 192. What is the view on this?
It's a long-term hold.
Okay, Rajesh, Sonia is having 30% profits in BDL as well as HAL. Is it advisable to book out profits at these levels and make a re-entry at lower levels maybe?
Yes, it can be a good strategy, but I would say don't sell entire stock. Sell 50% of your stock and re-enter at lower levels.
Kunal, we have the viewer, they've not mentioned the name, but yes, Delta Corp is the stock that they're holding 250 shares at and making a loss of around 27%. Exit or wait?
I would suggest to exit.
Okay, Kunal, what's your advice on NBCC? Subramaniam is holding these shares at a price of 58 rupees. Good to book out profits or continue to hold on?
Continue to hold on.
Okay, Rajesh, we have Karthik from Chennai who's holding Jindal Saw. Can they accumulate for a long term more or should they just hold on now?
Yes, it's a buy from a side.
All right, viewers, it's time's up in this edition of the Rapid Fire session as well as on the Buy Now Sell Now show. Thank you so much, Kunal and Rajesh, for joining us today and helping all our viewers resolve their stock-related queries. But with this, viewers, it's a goodbye from me and Vinny and the entire team who put the show together. Thanks so much for watching, but don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will take the action ahead.